Welcome back, everybody. So, something a little bit different. It's a solo server. It's a vanilla-esque build. Building Plus is on here, though. They have some illnesses and a different med pack. I'm doing solo. It won't be an all-the-time thing. The server we were running yesterday solo, I didn't think was quite right. Too quiet and didn't have the things I wanted. This might be different. We'll see. We'll gear up and see how we get on. There are players on the server currently, so who knows? Who knows? Just, yeah. Where am I going to spawn? We're not going to spawn down there. I reckon. Hi, Merv. How are you? Thanks for the like. Always, Cammy's good. Always appreciated. Oh, knife. Get that out of my hand. Get that out of my hand. Get that in my hand. So there's some mechanics on here I want to get my head round because they have broken arms and things on this server, which might be a useful mechanic for GoblinZ in the future. What about? Need to keep that though. Throw that. Eat that. Throw that to there. Carry that. There we go. Oh, Merv, thank you. Dropping a like. And your membership. Thank you for renewing, mate. Always appreciated. Eat our huge meat flip. I like the way that they've done this server with long, tall grass. I've always liked that. If you're going to run a summer build, it's nice that it looks summer. And this server does have some activity on it. And there's currently 15, 16 people on. There's no trader. There's key cards. There's base building, raiding, looting. It is standard zombies. It's base building plus. But with a summer build to Chernarus. I quite like that. Maybe something for the future we could look at for GoblinZ. Rather than do winter builds all the time. If we're not going to have a hardcore winter build, we have to do something else to make things harder. For obvious reasons. Hi, Restless. A bit of Chernarus in summer. It's a PvP server. We kill on site. My aim is to make our way right along down to here. Looting as we go and see how we get on. At the moment, I'm not stuck in a world of we will do this or we will do that. A bit of my brain says base building could be good fun to do. I was just running as solo. But really, we're here to see if there's any of the mechanics that they've got on here is things that we want to use on GoblinZ in the future. The best way to see those mechanics is to experience them. One of the things they've got on here is you can break your arm. And I quite like that idea, that you might get a broken arm that has to heal. And when you've got a broken arm, you can't use two-handed weapons. That, to me, seems like a sensible thing to have. I'm not sure my players would always agree. I can't believe we've had memberships for 6 months, guys. It's been amazing. And this morning, getting that massive amount of memberships as one hit was out of this world. Who'd have thought? So, Spudman, if you're watching or watching this back, thank you so much. It's massively, massively appreciated. The map looks different, doesn't it, with tall grass? Is that a train? Ooh. Might be some juicy loot on there. We need a rucksack. Thank you, Restless. Appreciated. A like and a comment is always good, though. It helps to drive that algorithm up. Okay, so let's just bring my Discord screen right down there so I get a bit more in case something happens. Good, that's that done. And we're not going to be a late run. This will be maybe 3 hours tonight. 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, about 8:30 would be good. I'm back to work tomorrow, so I'm loving how this looks with this build, this summer build. Just wondering whether we could do a GoblinZ run with heat. How that difficult that would be to implement. Like, have it really hot. So trial shoes. I see you, Mr. Zombie. Evening, Shane. How are you? What we need is a rucksack. I'm good, thank you, mate. Really good. Second stream of the day. We streamed this morning. I'm back to work tomorrow, which is a little bit annoying, but we've had a good week off. Got some good streams in. It's been nice just having a week where I didn't have anything planned. And we're just doing a run on a server that's got some numbers on. There's people on here. It's a base building raiding server, so we might bump into people. No trader. Key cards are on. There's no trader, but there are key cards. US server, I believe. Vanilla weapons. And they've got some other stuff like broken arms. I quite like the idea of a mod that has broken arms. And they've got a different keycard mod than we use. So I'm interested in those two things. Hi, John. Certainly feels a different Chernarus in summer. This build makes a very nice summer build. Yeah, I've not had a broken arm mod before on DayZ. So, I mean, and one of the things that does is it stops you being able to use a rifle till you either heal your arm or it heals naturally after 20 minutes. So it's like a broken leg. And I quite like the idea of having that on GoblinZ in the future, because it makes things more difficult. Is that island normally there? It's how often I don't play Chernarus. Or, sorry, I'm always on Chernarus, but never down this end of Chernarus. But we've got numbers on. It's 17 on at the moment. It's a 70, 60 slot server. I said no trader. Bit of custom stuff. Key cards, base building, raiding, vanilla weapons. Yes. Yeah. And I like things that make things more realistic. John, I love that comment. That's awesome. In rangefinder? No. A Glock mag. Take the Glock mag. That's nice, John. Something different. You probably didn't expect that to happen. I'm going to throw away anything. We'll keep the tape over the repair kit. Haha! You should have shot him with the MVGs. Obviously, the whole recce of this server might change completely if we find a code lock and a box of nails. That might change our outlook completely. But at the moment, it is just a recce on something that's got some numbers on. Not full, but some numbers. Yeah, exactly. I would have shot him. He had MVGs on. Even if he ended up killing me, I would have said, yeah, I'm friendly. As soon as he walked ahead of me, I'd put a round in the back of his head. Still would have killed him. No such things as friendly on a survival server. But hey, you make your own choices on the server. Do your own thing, have your own adventures. As long as you're not teaming up, I don't care. It doesn't, you know, I've only once ever had to ask players to leave that were running together. They both joined at the same time. When we were on Deer Isle. And they were both running with each other. And I followed them on the map in invisible mode for about an hour. And they were starting to base build together. And I went over and went, look guys, this is a solo server. And they were like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if we live together, does it? I went, it's a solo server. You can't run together. Oh, we didn't know that. I was like, so when you clicked on the name that said solo, what did you think that meant? And at that point, they both exited the server and I banned them. I don't think they expected a player to be on the server. Sorry, the admin to be on the server. I'm on another freshie run, so I hope I see someone about. We just need to get some more numbers. But because of what we're running, because it's hardcore winter, players don't want that. I'm hoping we can do something with summer next wipe. I don't know though. There's a lot of mechanics that I need that I'd have to change if we went to summer that work better for our type of server with it being winter. I know the build they're running. Yeah, this is a good edit. This is. Get used to this sort of edit because we might be adding this to Chernarus ourselves. Probably not though, because let's be honest, John, most players do not want hardcore freezing conditions, no loot. You have to be a certain sort of weird player to want that. And I'm not calling our guys weird, I'm just saying how it is. Most people want easy DayZ, not difficult DayZ. This is the sort of level that they want for survival, most players. Where it's cold, but summer. And there's lots of loot. And it's a shame, because there's so much more a server can give. That zombie had rags, didn't it? Yeah. And I love that. And I love that you guys love that. But it isn't, you know... Can I search chicken huts on here? No. And I love the experience I give you guys. And I think it works really well. It would just be nice to have more numbers. So, if we drink that, We need the water bottle, don't we? Whatever, guys. And we eat that. But GoblinZ is getting the balance right really hard. I think we've done it about right this wipe. We're sort of a lot closer to where I want it to be. Is that done? Get rid of that. Add that. Make a pair of gloves. And make a piece of rope. I've no idea where the well is in here. Obviously, I can look at the map and see it, but and we'll set an RV for it. Carry that as a backup. Right then. Let's see, where is our nearest well? RV that. I prefer our method, which doesn't show you how far away you are. I love how cluttered the town is. It's a shame we can't search this sort of shit. Yeah, you never know what I'm up to. Remember, each wipe, apart from the obvious priest, each wipe I change around some of the other characters that are carrying stuff. We'll take that over that. Now, a nice little pioneer or the scout would be good. 12 gauge would be excellent. That'll do. Fucking jacket. 20 slots, that's 24. I need to stay with what I've got, unfortunately. Don't know what you mean by fake zones. Who'd have thought? That nasty goblin. Playing with the mechanics. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh, well, that'll be interesting. I do a lot of things, as you're learning, on each white. I like how messy this build is. I know what mod they're using for it, so we'll probably have this for the future. The world feels a bit more lived in. I like the long grass. I can't run that with winter, but I could run that with cold temperatures still. So we could have late fall, early winter. Well, we could have long grass and cold temperatures. So we could mix the best of both worlds. But how many zombies? This car here's a good one to stand on an emergency. But yeah, maybe long grass, but cold. Maybe that's the route to take, guys. So overgrown, rather than winter, have it looking like this, but just as cold as we're used to. Yes, it is. You have a rucksack, mate. I want your rucksack. Right then, let's get ready to go and die at a King of the Hill event, shall we? Two shotgun shells and some luck. You saw my message. It might have a massive impact on wipe. It won't change how we run the server. Up until August, even if I have to do a wipe this coming week, if I'm forced to, we still will run the same level of cold and horrible until August, because I'm not ready to put a new build up yet. So even if I have to wipe and you guys start again on Goblin, it won't change. It will still be the snow winter that you're on now. But when we come to Cherno next wipe, we're staying on Cherno forever. Because I'm developing stuff. I'm getting everything ready for next year when we're switching providers. So I'll be adding new stuff and making it different, more difficult, new rewards, new way of doing things. And then as we move through the year, adding more and more until we get to 2026, when mid-January 26, the new server will launch that will handle a lot more. We're going from 1 core to 4 cores. We're going from 12 gigs of RAM to 16 gigs of RAM. We're going to a faster system that can handle more. And it's costing less for me than I currently pay. And we should be able to handle 3 sets of AI. So a military AI, like we've got now. A endgame AI, which is something that will be new for you guys. And another set of AI. Might be police. It might be random roamers in the world. It might be... but it will be something different. And potentially there might be police AI that have taser guns, that tasers, and the tasers can actually knock you out and they can imprison you. Or we might have airdrop AI, so a plane flies over and it drops a special forces team to hunt you down. But I'm quite liking the idea of running this, like, pack here, so the grass is all overgrown, but run it cold. So we get the best of both worlds. We get the tall grass, we get the different trees, we get it looking like summer, but it's freezing cold. That interests me. A different mechanic to play with. And I like what we've done with the Livonia build. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really, really good. But we'll know a lot more on Tuesday night when I get home from work of whether it's a simple wipe the server, simple do the update, reinstall the backup files, everything's good to go, you guys are back in and playing, edit the loot table to add the new weapons in, you guys are up and playing, jobs are good, or whether I have to wipe, in which case that'll take a little bit more time. But I won't know that till Tuesday, when I get home from work. Put the password behind put the server behind a password, and then see what comes of it. I've got big plans for next year for the server. Also, at the moment we have 30 slots, of which we probably use 10. When we go to the new server, I can have as many slots as I want, included within the price. Obviously, we don't have the RAM to run 127 slots, and I wouldn't. But it might mean that I could run a 40 slot server, and if it got busy, we could push it up to 50. Or potentially run a second server that I can just use for testing builds on. Allocate one of the cores to that. But I'm certainly thinking we'll go for the long grass, summer conditions, but very cold. Get the best of both worlds. Maybe even make it snow. That's not overly difficult to do. Apart from the fact that long grass has been out for as a mod for 7-8 years, and Anastasia has been out a year and a half. Yeah, we wouldn't have crocodiles ever again. They're shit. They're not what I want them to be. They're awful. They're not professional enough as a mod. It's comical. They should be able to, if they bite you, that should be one bite, you're dead. Solves the fishing issue. I do realise that we might die on this. But I want to make a world for you next year that feels more alive. That's what I really want to do. Probably stay with expansion base building because you all understand it. But make it so you can't build the size bases that you can now. So reduce the size of your bases that you can build. So it becomes more covert. Hi Lego. How are you, mate? Oh yeah, they're kept. Because that works, but I might change what the loot reward is, if that makes sense. We just have an egg in there, feathers, and the rooster, not the chocolate stuff. Maybe a key as a reward in there. Percentage chance of a low tier key that someone's hidden inside there. Now we could do with a scope. Take that. 45 ACP. I don't expect this to go well, guys. I would expect there to be a sniper up there. That's what I would do. Go way up onto the top of that one. There's not, is there? Get up there, but you can't get onto the roof of that building. But if we go to the edge of the military compound, there's a building there that we can get up on the roof of and look in from that direction. Maybe that'll work. Let's have a look. Evening, Red Leader. I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you? Oh, for a weapon that we could use. That flag going up, because if it is, that means there's a player in there. No, it's not. All right, let's try some stealth kills. Flag going up is the question. Though we're waiting for the flag to go to the top so we can win the event. I need to keep the zombies alive so it doesn't look like I'm here. And then if somebody else pushes it, they have a problem with zombies. Well, that's my sort of logic. Is that a player moving up on the... No, it's a Z. Sure if the flag's going up. Slowly, isn't it? What do you reckon, guys? Is the flag going up? I have yet to work out the logistics of if we win this, how we get the loot. But that's a problem if we get there. I don't know, is the answer to that. Well, fucking hell, there's 25 people on here now. I'm hoping if we lie down, eventually they'll get bored of me. I can't see this is going to go very well, though. My plan is not looking so good now. Come on, flag. Right, any ideas, guy, for extraction from here? Yeah, that's not going to happen. I like your method, Shane. That's sounding like a shoot a pistol at something behind me so the zombies run off to the sound, and then run like fuck to the box, grab everything and try and make it out alive. Or get knocked out by them and then they fuck off. That's the other option, isn't it? Yeah, hope they fuck off. Massively hope. It's fair to say the Goblin Council is not impressed with me. No, they're not. Not impressed at all. MTP, multi-terrain pattern, the new British Forces camouflage. And then it's got goblins sat behind me because I've got a fake green screen. I might even order a goblin hat at some point. So when I switch to the cancel screen, I'll look like a goblin. There's a situation. And the council aren't impressed. No, they're not at all impressed. They thought I would have chosen a better position of cover. They're telling me off. I have brought my milkshake to the yard. Yeah. I blame the orange quilted jacket. That's what's attracted the little buggers, I think. So that's just to show that there's an event happening. Yeah. I've attracted some friends. Okay, mate. Massively appreciate the alert. Well, this will either go according to plan or far more likely it won't. Exactly. They're here to support me, aren't they? Right then, guys. 2 rounds on the shotgun, 1 on the pistol, and whatever's in that box. Well, how will this play out? I'm running. Just need a saw. The solo goblin life has improved. Right then, where are we going to live? Has to be that cave, doesn't it? So Nietzsche to find a saw. Hell of a fucking move. But we've got an FN foul. Could do the butt on it. But still. There wasn't a saw in that container, so there's nothing else in there I need. I don't know how long stashes last on this server. And obviously I'll be playing Eternity as well. So my aim is to sort of make it in that, move up in that direction. Need a saw and a sharpening stone, and then we can get a door in and a workbench. I do have a backup plan of where we could live. I still need a saw. Actually, might be a better location, you know. I need it to be more covert, because this server, I'm a solo playing it, and there's teams on here of 6. But numbers are in my favour at the moment. So we could live there. One box of nails should be enough to do what we need to do, which is block off the top area and build a door down the bottom and get a covert flag in place. FN foul, code lock, box of nails, tack back, body armor, and a helmet. Hi, fire. So it was a good King of the Hill. Really good King of the Hill for me. Obviously a little problem with zombies, but we survived. We didn't fire a shot, and we got out with some useful loot. I'd say that was a win. Really nice haul, yeah. But I do need a saw. I've got the rope, so I can get the flag up. I just need the saw. Potentially a sharpening stone. Because then we can... It's door-only raiding on here, so we can block off the top door. And we can put a door on the bottom with a code lock. I had to leave the metal behind, so I don't have a rucksack that will carry it, unfortunately. I'm loving this build they've got on here, though, for the summer build. Yeah, this is a more vanilla PvP server that I run solo. Well, I'm running now solo. I wasn't. I came on here because they've got the mechanic fire where you can break your arm. And I want to see how that works. But I'm actually quite enjoying it. In inverted commas. But yeah, this is a more vanilla experience. With base building plus. And keys and key cards. And King of the Hill, which is what we just won. Yeah. But if we ran this on GoblinZ, or Z, but with... So the long grass, the summer conditions, but it being ultra cold, we'd get the best of both worlds. We'd still have to have sleeping as normal. We'd still have to light fires. But you could be more covert. And that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. It takes 20 minutes for them to heal. Or you can use meds. But you can't shoot. You can't use a two-handed weapon when your arms get broken. And that's what I like the sound of. I'm thinking for GoblinZ in the future, which is the only reason I came here. I just looked for a server that had base building plus on, vanilla-ish, Chernarus, summer build, and then I looked through the mods to find any other mods that would work that I needed to look at. And also they're using the DNA key cards, so it's the, rather than loot crates, it's that box, that room that you go into and open. And I'd like to potentially run that in the future, because you get a notification that the room is being opened. I'm not really dressed. Well, I suppose now it's all fucked. I'm dressed accordingly. I know we're hungry, but we're not hungry enough to eat the tack back yet. Yes, with the alarms that go off as well. And a notification across the map. And I quite like that idea. And then it's a room that you're going into, so you have to fight into the... So potentially people might push in afterwards, and then you get PvP inside the room. And it fits in nicely to what I'm planning, if that makes sense. It's another reason to go to Chernarus, because all the code's pre-written for Chernarus. So I can just put the code in, and then I can move things using new grid references rather than having to write the code from scratch. It makes my life a lot easier while I learn a new mod. But the Goblin Council fully approve of how well that King of the Hill went. Yep, they approve. The Goblin Council do approve. Yeah, they not the rooms, but the alarms they had. Right then, let's have that. One less thing to worry about. They had cards, yeah. They had cards and keys. Yeah, but for rooms, wasn't it? It wasn't for. Not when I played for the individual bunkers. While we're here, we'll just do a bit of loot sorting. You've got a shit helmet as well. But the SLR is fucking massive. Sorry, it's not an SLR. It's because it has fully auto. The FN FAL with a scope, just no butt stop, which is really annoying because it looks like the shit that the Argentinians carried. But what I don't want to do is make GoblinZ be too sweaty, PvP. It has to fit in with... Like, I wouldn't have those rooms all over. But having one of those rooms in endgame would work. Just an idea. I'm playing with different ideas. Certainly I want the broken arms though. I think that's a nice mechanic to have. And I potentially want the map to look like this. Because it makes Chernarus look a lot different. I think that's a nice mechanic. But having a having 3 tiers of key card that open up the same building that you take to end game. So you could get tier 1 and go to end game and get tier 1 stuff, but tier 3 would get you the best stuff. So we'd have a lot less tier 3 cards in the world. That could be quite nice. I spent a few hours in editor today, and I've worked out how to do what I'm doing with editor. Yeah, I can make Chernarus look like this. It's not a problem. It's a different Chernarus though, isn't it? It feels overgrown. It feels like it's a few years after the end of the world. And I like that. And the edit I'm thinking of putting in on the map will look so much different. It will change how Chernarus looks in the starting areas and some of the military areas. What am I missing? Better? I like the fact that, you know, I like my servers to feel like the world ended 10, 12 years ago. People stopped mowing their lawns and looking after their houses, so things are in ruin. So I like this, because this would work. Because no one's been looking after the forests anymore. So it feels nice. Could do with the grass being a little bit higher, but I might be able to deal with that. And then if we run it cold, it's just, you've still got that survival mechanic of having to light fires all the time and unfreeze food. We just won't have snow drifts. But I certainly like this. This feels good. Yeah. There's 12 people now that play on a regular basis currently, and 3 or 4 that play as and when. And if we stay permanently on Chernarus with a good build and only wipe every 12 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever we decide on, where I decide on that works for a survival server, I think 12 weeks is a bit long. Players might be encouraged to play a bit more. Because by the time people have built a base, because we would have survivor missions running on it. I like blizzards. Takes longer to get wet than just raining. Yeah, and we can still have snow on this. If I put the temperatures low enough, it will snow. Basically. The snowing mechanic is a DayZ mechanic. So I can turn that on in the CFG file. Just copy the mechanics from Sakal and paste them straight in there. And then it will snow. The trouble is there'll be no snow settled. So it will still look like summer. There won't be any snow on the ground. But I think it might work. And if we run it summer, it doesn't rain very often. But when it does rain, it will be a snowstorm. And then we run it cold. But we run it for summer months. So you don't get a lot of snow. But when you do, you get a blizzard. And then it's gone. So it will just feel like fucked up weather, really. Food will still need defrosting. As long as it's under -2, then food needs defrosting. So that solves that problem. And that happens automatically now in DayZ, based upon the temperature you set things at. Remember, if I do a Cherno, it will be a Cherno reimagined. And I know you're no fan of Cherno, but this is a different feelings Cherno, isn't it? After restart, we will be back in, guys. We're going to continue with this little adventure. We'll be running GoblinZ for a lot longer. My ultimate aim, and this is not a yet thing because it's a cost implication. My ultimate aim is to have 2 servers on DayZ, and 1 scum server. That's my ultimate aim. But yeah, I want 2 DayZ servers. I want the PvP version, and potentially I want an exact copy that's PvE to appeal to the PvE players that want hardcore survival. Once I've got it working correctly. Or I want 2 servers with the teleport between servers. So we could have Cherno, which we would have, and then maybe a teleport that takes you to Namalsk. So you'd get to endgame, and when you complete endgame, you'd actually go through a teleporter, and you'd land in Namalsk. And then you'd have to find the teleporter in the mouse to get you home. That could be amazing. And I can do the code for that. I just need to have 2 servers running, which could work really, really well. People would gear up, they'd get to endgame, complete endgame, and then the teleporter would land them in Namalsk, and then they'd have to fight through Namalsk. We'd probably have to move to whitelisting, so the only people that could play the server would be whitelisted. So because that way I wouldn't want people just joining Namalsk and not going through the route I want to take them. So both servers would be whitelisted if we did that, just because. And then people would come onto the Discord, say I'd like to join, agree to the rules, give me their Steam number, and then they'd be whitelisted to be able to play the server. It's harder then to grow, but it means you can control things. So that's a long term in the future. That's 27, 28. We'll be looking at shit like that. As I said, that's a long term aim, not short term. I'm glad. Me drinking tea. And welcome back, guys. Server, if anyone's interested, is called Barely Alive. It's a US server. There is raiding on here. It's vanilla weapons, but with base building plus, key cards, events. $1,500, so it's going to get dark reasonably soon. Do they have Survivor? No. Oh, I know where I am. I used to live in this barn. On F-35, the first base I ever built was inside this barn. So we ended up building a massive base here, like a considerable size base that went right round the outside, came out to like here, went five stories high, had a helicopter landing pad inside, 2 helis. And the actual barn became our loot room eventually. Maximum code locks, flash damage walls. We built the bloody lot in there. A hell of a base. But I had a 5-man team that were on every night of the week, and mostly the whole of the weekend, so we could generate the nails and build it, and everyone worked together. Whereas out of that team, the only person that's still playing on a regular basis is Cookie, but he's on leave, and Irish, but he's now moved to roleplay servers. Yeah, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved playing F-35 when it was in the top 100 servers in the world, and it was doing really well. It was good fun. Hi, Critical. Right, then we're going to need water and a saw. So, first port of call should be like down here, then through here, and search it all. Yeah, I don't like what they became. I tried Phoenix, it wasn't for me. And Finn, that used to own it, has handed over control. So it's no longer his server. I've migrated into playing different servers. You know, in those days, I would never have run around in here solo. You know, I'd play Eternity, even though that's quite a punchy server. Not massively punchy. I play this now. I don't play GoblinZ because I'm a server owner. I know where all the bases are. I know how many doors people have. I know how many code locks they have. I know how many explosives people have. It's not fair for me to play it. but that's me giving something back to the community. You know, you guys have all helped me massively grow. I've never, when I took the YouTube journey, thought that I'm 6 months now into having over 500 and having memberships enabled. I'm not a stupid distance away from 700. We'll be hitting 1,000 at some point in the next year and a half, more than likely. And then I'll earn off advertising as well. You know, today, this morning stream that I did, someone, well, Spudman gifted 50 memberships. That's amazing. Just unbelievable. Yeah, quite like this. Lone house. Greenhouse is easy to build in, but the flag can be seen by everybody. And the two places we've chosen to potentially build, we can do a covert build. We need that. Now we just need a saw. But they donated, start again, I can't speak. They donated 50 memberships to me and 50 to Merv. Just, wow, it was just one of those moments. It's like, Merv had them first, he got his 50, and he was like, he went really quiet, and he came back and he's like, I can't believe it, I've had like all these subs donated. And I went, oh, that's amazing, just wow. And he's like, yeah, I've got notifications going off everywhere. And then Spudman jumped into my chat and donated 50 memberships. And I was like, So, yeah. Fairly good payout coming next month, because those 50 plus the money I had. I was £1 under having a payout this month. But now I've got the memberships I normally have, plus those 50 dropping in, so the end of June will be a good payout. Like a really good payout, in all honesty. We'll pay for new tyres for the car. Yeah. Thank you. And it's like now, there's 15 of you watching. My averages are going up. I'm starting to, not all the time, you know, some streams I go out to 5 to 10, but most streams I finish now on at least 10 people viewing. Which is quite nice. I've had higher averages. I had a stream where I had 187 people watching me. We don't want that, but it might be the only storage we have in base until we can do the next shit. We're going to check this because, as I said, we only need a saw now. So, fucking stupid goblin. We now need a bandage. I love the 4K stream. I love being able to offer 4K content. That's what made the big difference for me with DayZ, was when I started doing 4K content. There's more content creators doing 4K now, but not everyone is, and it makes a difference. Lego, who's lurking in the stream at the moment, was saying that he was watching it the other night on television, and he said it just looks amazing. So we need a saw. If we can get a saw, we can put a flag up, we can put a door on, and we can block off the other bit. Life's good. Then we'll need a barrel. Obviously we'll need an airlock as well at some point, but fuck me, that made me jump. Here you do then. I'll make a group. Okay. I'll need to make a group before I can claim territory. But also I think it's hard work with YouTube. That first 100 was a nightmare to get. And then the algorithm likes you because it knows that you're putting some time in. And then it was a massively hard grind to get to 500. And then again, the algorithm likes you, so it starts sending stuff your way. And now I'm on the grind to 1,000. Then the hard work starts. It's how far I want to take the channel. But my long-term aims with the channel is I want to get the channel to 5,000 plus subs by the time I retire and go into retirement, because then I can stream not full-time but sort of full-time, and it will give me an additional income stream. That's my ultimate aim, but to entertain you guys. I'd like to offer more servers. I'd like to eventually, when I retire, my aim is to make a DayZ map and then run GoblinZ on its own map that's exclusive to GoblinZ. And I've already started work on that, but I'm one person and I don't have enough time to do that, to stream, to look after a server and everything else. But ultimately, that's where we'll end up, with our own map. But that won't be for 10 years. Right, time to hit industrial. We need a saw, guys. And I hope that night times are short. And when we go to the new server, it will do. At the moment, it covers about 50% of the cost. But when we go to the new server, my memberships, my regular memberships, welcome back, John, my regular memberships will cover the cost of the new server. We're searching for a saw. Hi, Willie. We are saw hunting. Keep finding stuff we need. Is there a med centre in this town? We need a bandage at the moment more than we need anything else. Yes, there is. That's our first port of call. So, if we come up on this side, we're going to hit the med centre first and try and get a bandage. Let's stay first. An industrial building. That one's searching. Next port of call is we're going to have to think about food. So I'm going to get up into here. See if we can get a sheep up here somewhere. I would go fishing, but... Okay. We'll sweep round a little bit and drop back down once we've lost the Z. Don't want to be fishing at night though. Sorry, lighting a fire at night. Got no emergency food on us, have we? No. Dinner. Still need a saw. Right, potato. Keep me alive for 2 minutes. Ooh. Okay, so this is not quite going according to plan. Saw would have been nice. Obviously the DayZ gods aren't working in my favour today. Dinner. That's worth having. Okay, we're coming into night time. Let's hope nights are quick, as I said earlier. Where's the problem building in this? Swimming pool is a problem building. Swimming pool probably means nothing to most of you, but Cookie and I call a certain building in there the swimming pool. Do we fish, or do we go up in the woods and cut the chicken breast? Too much chance of a freshie spawning in the dark and taking us out with a knife or punching us to death. Whereas if we go into the woods, we can do a very quick fire, cook the 3 bits of breast, and get out of there. or cook in that house. Fuck it, take the risk. Not used to not being able to bandage on the move. Bark. I need 3 pieces, don't I? Yeah, 2 pieces I need. Bring my food. Let's get this cooked. Do the job. Not perfect. I don't like cooking at night. But we need the food. Right, get this food down our necks and then lie up till morning. That'll be the aim, I think. Okay. Wait for them to cool down. While that's happening, let's move some shit across to there and free up some space. that. Still need a saw, guys, to be able to build. We're going to need a second box of nails. We're only going to be able to do one door. Shit. No. We've got a sharpening stone. If we get a saw, we can do it. We'll need to get a book, though. Which I don't know if we can make. Let's find out. No, we need a book as well. That's annoying. Okay, so it's only 4 times night so far. Nearly too dark to operate. Right, guys, I think I'm going to call it there. As I said, I've got work in the morning. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the interaction and thanks for the chat. Massively, massively appreciated. We will be back on doing some DayZ tomorrow night and Thursday. Tuesday night we'll probably be busy with the update. But thank you for watching. As I said, massively appreciated. And I'll see you all again soon.